to understand the situation better now. We are joined from Islamabad by Bureau Chief Pakistan, Anas Mallick. Thank you so much, Anas, for being with us this evening. So can you give us more details, please, on this visit? How long has this Kuwait delegation been in Islamabad, and was the signing of the protocol agreement 2026 the primary purpose or just a part of a broader agenda of meeting?
Well, Lala, this is a very significant visit coming in from Kuwait, a high-level delegation from Kuwait that has been led by Sheikh Abdullah Ali Abdullah Al Salim Al Sabah, the Minister of Defence of Kuwait, accompanied by the Lieutenant General Khalid Darj Saad Al Shiran, the Chief of General Staff of the Armed Forces of Kuwait. They have been here in Islamabad. They've been holding meetings. They've met the Pakistani Defence Minister. They signed a protocol agreement as well. And as you asked, with regards to the broader agenda of this protocol agreement, I think what it does is essentially talks about enhancing capacity and capability. The agreement has essentially been an extension of the Pakistan-Qatar joint defense agreement that was signed in 2023, and under this renewed agreement, the armed forces of Pakistan will be extending assistance to armed forces of Kuwait in diverse fields, including training, capacity building, border management, and other mutually agreed areas of defense collaboration. I think it is significant for the very fact that in the context of the recent hostilities in West Asia, especially how Kuwait was pounded in a literal manner by the Iranian side, and with the growing influence, or rather the exiting influence of the American side from the region, I think with Pakistan trying to step in, or Pakistan stepping in, of course not the ideal, not as an ideal choice on its own part, but of course for the greater good of the region, Islamabad stepping in and trying to fill in that vacuum in case if the American forces leave or are forced to sort of curtail down. I think this is that broader side that this agreement will entail to. I think also what is significant is the fact that just yesterday the Pakistani National Security Advisor was in Kuwait. He met the Prime Minister of Kuwait as well. So I mean, you are seeing a series of meetings that have been happening. The Kuwaiti side ratifying the defense agreement, that was defense cooperation agreement that was signed in 2023. It took them 3 years for that to ratify, and then we're seeing a series of meetings. Let's not forget that the Kuwaiti foreign minister was very recently here as well. So broadly speaking, this just adds another dimension or another layer to that Pakistan-Kuwait relationship. Laila?
And so, Anas, beyond training and capacity building, so does this agreement actually involve any deployment of Pakistani military advisors or personnel inside Kuwait? So similar to Pakistan's historical role in Gulf states.
No, this is very different. This agreement is very, very different from the Pakistan-Saudi defense mutual defense agreement. The SMDA, the Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement that was signed between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, that essentially entails as it's an extension of the agreements that Pakistan and Saudi Arabia had done. This focuses on capacity building, let alone to build on or to harness on that Pakistan's capacity to counter terrorism, to with regards to intelligence capability, with regards to military dominance. Islamabad proved that it is a real force to reckon with. Last year, when it, in a literal sense, humiliated India in that 4-day war, and since then the tables have turned. So in that context, Islamabad has emerged as a not so self-proclaimed net security provider, and not a self-proclaimed net security stabilizer, but rather it's the people and it's the governments and it's different nations who want to engage with Islamabad, and they see Pakistan as a net security stabilizer. So the nature of this agreement with that of the SMDA is very, very different. It would not see a permanent deployment of Pakistani troops in Kuwait for sure, but of course for training purposes, for logistics purposes, we have seen that Pakistani side has been traveling to other parts of the Gulf, but that's only on a short-term commitment, and they would be back as and when in case if they get to travel, that is, with the caveat, they would be back as and when their training assignment is completed. Laila?
And so does this pact reflect a specific Kuwaiti security concern, or is it a part of a broader Pakistani push to expand defence export partnership across the GCC?
I think it is part of that broader package to expand Pakistan's military footprint. As I said, with growing calls on the part of Iran to sort of sway away, and I think that is the right word to put it, to sort of like sway away or take away the American influence in the region. There can possibly be a security vacuum. We're not talking about something in the immediate future, near future, but I think in time to come, in let's say 10 years from now, so Islamabad seems to be filling in and filling in with all its in all its glory, with its credentials, not by just its words, and it's not part of that Pakistan's expansionist GCC agenda, but rather it is the other way around, where GCC, the countries in GCC, feel the absolute need to engage with Islamabad for the very fact, not because that it is the only nuclear power in the world, in the Muslim world, pardon me on that, but with the very fact that it's a battle-hardened army, it's led from the front, and of course it took on an enemy much bigger than its size, and the mediating credentials and Pakistan's defense credentials and Pakistan's mediatory credentials both have been proved time and again, and that is why this rethink on the part of GCC to engage with Pakistan and to sort of expand that defense footprint should particularly be seen in that context, especially in that in the context of filling in that vacuum or that gap that could potentially be as, when and if the US forces leave the region.
Many thanks, Anas, for being with us tonight.